What's happening, people? Now, in today's video, we're going to walk through how to craft and deliver a magnetic pitch when presenting your business idea or startup. And how we're going to do that is by dissecting one of the most masterful pitches on Dragon's Den, according to the BBC, and seeing what these founders did when it comes to using effective communication and storytelling inside of their pitch. So, hey, without further wait, let's get into it.
Hi Dragons, it's great to meet you. I'm Lottie and this is my co-founder Joe, and together we started MyoMaster. We're here today to ask for £100,000 and of course your expertise in exchange for a 5% stake in our business.
Picture this, I'm living out my childhood dream of playing professional rugby for Harlequins, but I'm sidelined yet again with another injury. So I decide to dismantle a jigsaw, weld a stool leg on the end, and I start using it around my Achilles. And I'm blown away with how it alleviates the pain.
There's so much good stuff already, okay? Start writing notes. Start writing down your opinion on, hey, they did this there. I kind of like that. They did this here. That didn't resonate with me. Start writing it down because there's so many awesome moments already in this video.
The changing room erupts with laughter, as you could probably imagine, until the lads start using it for themselves. Before I know it, they're pulling cash out of their wallets, asking me to build them one. And by the end of the day, I'd sold 7.
There are 2 billion people in the world right now suffering with muscle and joint issues. So it's no surprise that the recovery market is scaling rapidly. So what are we doing about it? Well, we're building MyoMaster, the home of sports recovery.
Over the past 2 years, we've set about developing our incredible range of recovery tech. From percussive massagers that are amazing for alleviating pain and mobility. We have compression boots, which are perfect for post-exercise. We have our cold water immersion range and our CBD muscle and joint balm. Everyday athletes love our products, but so do some of the most elite sports teams in the world.
We've had some really exciting traction today, generating over £1.3 million worth of sales in the last 24 months. We're not stopping there, continuing to innovate. We're currently building the Physio in your pocket, software that will connect your workout tracker to give you guided recovery based on the exercise that you've just done. Excitingly, we've just been backed by Google. So what's not to love? Dragons, thank you so much for listening. We can't wait for you to come and try our products.
Wow, that was approximately, don't quote me, man, but that was approximately 1 minute and 45 seconds. Dope, right? Now, what I want you to remember is less is more. And when pitching and presenting your idea, think of it as a movie trailer. It's not the full movie, okay? It's the movie trailer to excite people enough to want to pay for the full movie and really dig deeper into your narrative, story, business, and more, okay? So it's a movie trailer. So think about that. That's a quick mindset shift. Now, what we're going to do, okay, is I'm going to... That's me rewinding, okay? Bing, there you go. That was a better rewind button. So that's me rewinding to the beginning of the pitch so we can begin dissecting step by step. I'm excited, man. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this.
I'm Lottie, and this is my co-founder Joe, and together we started MyoMaster. We're here today to ask for £100,000 and of course your expertise in exchange for a 5% stake in our business.
Interesting. And I wonder if Lottie and Joe meant to do this, but they're both wearing white shirts. Now, according to color psychology, specifically when it comes to marketing and branding, white can signal or rather evoke a feeling of cleanliness, purity, safety, and minimalism. Here's what I'm talking about. Imagine walking into an Apple store right now. When you walk into an Apple store, you probably feel like me and you're like, my decision fatigue is reduced. Everything feels clean and spacious. I feel like I can think more clearly and I just want to buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I love the fact that they've both worn white. If it was intentional, brilliant. I love it. But something to think about. What do you wear when you present your story, your message, and your idea? And how is that influencing the people that you're trying to connect with? Very subtle. You'll see politicians do this a lot. A lot of them wear blue because they're trying to showcase tranquility, or they wear black because they want to showcase elegance and sophistication, right? So think about that. What do you wear and how is it influencing the hearts and the minds of the people that you want to connect with? Let's dig deeper.
Picture this. I'm living out my childhood dream of playing professional rugby for Harlequins.
Got to pause there. Okay. Picture this. Two powerful words. Joe didn't say, hey, let me tell you a story. So there's one time at band camp. No, he didn't do that. Okay. He said, picture this. Now, those two words, whether they're used in writing or speaking, are beautiful for creating an immersive experience to pull people into your story. Now, what's key is that you then tell a great story so that you don't do those two words a disservice. So I'm just going to rewind there a little bit. Start that again.
Picture this. I'm living out my childhood dream of playing professional rugby for Harlequins, but I'm sidelined yet again with another injury.
When I specifically teach storytelling, I talk about my truth when it comes to delivering your story and ensuring it unfolds within a specific arc. And my truth is 4 key elements inside of the story arc: context, conflict, change, conclusion. Context is where we introduce a main character into the story and their desire. So who's the main character here? It's Joe. What is his desire? To live out his childhood dream of playing professional rugby. And then boom, all of a sudden, the conflict enters the scene. And the conflict is driven from the villain, who is agitating the main character and preventing them from achieving their desired transformation. So in this case, the villain isn't a human being, it's Joe's injury. The injury does what? It leaves him sidelined. And if he's sidelined, he can't continue to live out his boyhood dream of playing pro rugby. Now, what I think is very interesting is these couple of seconds actually increases Joe's credibility stock, because he wasn't just playing rugby. No, he was playing pro rugby at the highest level. It shows that he understands what elite athletes actually think about when it comes to recovery.
So I decided to dismantle a jigsaw, weld a stool leg on the end, and I start using it around my Achilles. And I'm blown away with how it alleviates the pain.
Beautiful. Now, the next step in the story arc, or rather element, is change. Okay, so context, conflict, change, conclusion. We're now on change. Now, change is when the scientist is sitting under the tree and then boom, the apple falls on his head and he has an aha moment. Joe is the scientist. The apple on his head, or rather the apple that fell on his head, was, hold on, why don't I just take this off the stool, weld it together, and boom, see if it alleviates my injury? Oh, damn. It does. It's the aha moment. It's the exact moment where the trajectory of his life begins to shift. This is the moment that everything changes. Beautiful, huh? Think about that for you. When you have the main character and their desire going on their journey of pain to glory, and they experience some conflict, which is driven from the villain, you can't just go, oh, okay, and then they ended up here. Like, what was the guide, or who was the guide? What was the aha moment which shifted the trajectory of their lives and ensured they do go from pain to glory? You feel me?
The changing room erupts with laughter, as you could probably imagine, until the lads start using it for themselves.
That was probably a continuation, actually, of the change. I paused it too early, but this is the turning point, okay? Until the lads start to use it for themselves. Now, what I would say is, if I was coaching Joe, I would say 3 things to Joe. I would say, can we slow it down a touch? Can we include a pause here and there to allow the dragons to truly absorb what he's saying and to also allow for more impact of his message? Can we include more intonation in his speech? Meaning, intonation in the most basic sense means a rise and fall of one's voice. Right now, it feels a touch here. How can we include a bit more of a rise and fall of his voice? But I mean, Joe, great job, brother. I'm personally being tedious and pedantic here, but I think you've done a great job, man. Seriously. What else would I say here? Is, slowing it down a touch. Slowing down the speed, and also maybe reducing the volume at points. For example,
before I know it, they're pulling cash out of their wallets, asking me to build them one.
Before I know it, they're pulling cash out of their wallets and they're saying, dude, Joe, can I buy one? Do you see what I mean? A reduction in the speed, a reduction in the volume, then an increase to create contrast, but also a brief pause to allow people to feel that moment. That's what I'm talking about. Really, really simple stuff.
And by the end of the day, I'd sold 7.
Boom! That's the conclusion. The conclusion is when the main character goes from pain to glory. In this case, it's specific and it's tangible. Joe has sold 7. Dope, right? Very, very cool. Think about it. When delivering your pitches, how are you including a story at the start of your pitch to open up the hearts of the people you want to connect with so you can be seen as a relatable human being, so you can humanize yourself and you can just become just like them? Because people want to buy from somebody just like them. But the key is that person also has to have experienced a transformation with the problem in question.
There are 2 billion people in the world right now suffering with muscle and joint issues.
Do you see Deborah Meaden's face there? She's like, oh, okay. 2 billion people. Wow. Now, what I think is smart is they led with a story that evokes emotion. Then they're hitting people with the statistics. But what I want you to remember is even though this pitch has a micro story within it, the actual pitch, the actual overarching pitch has a story arc also. So we've done some context building, and now Lottie is talking about the villain. The villain in the eyes of her ideal customers is this.
So it's no surprise that the recovery market is scaling rapidly.
What she does here, I think, is smart. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but she uncovers urgency. I call this the window of opportunity. What she's trying to instill here is a feeling of FOMO. She's trying to be like, yo, dragons, this market's growing, but the amount of solution providers popping up is increasing. You need to get involved with this now, you feel me? What I would say is I'm not a big fan of creating urgency. I'm a big fan of uncovering it. Creating urgency can lead to manipulation. We're talking about influence with integrity.
So what are we doing about it? Well, we're building MyoMaster, the home of sports recovery.
Over the past 2 years,
And it's like, oh, that makes sense because of Joe's background, like everything starts to piece together.
we've set about developing our incredible range of recovery tech. From percussive massagers that are amazing for alleviating pain and mobility. We have compression boots, which are perfect for post-exercise. We have our cold water immersion range and our CBD muscle and joint balm. Everyday athletes love our products, but so do some of the most elite sports teams in the world.
What I find interesting is when people talk about the features of their products. Now, what I would have Lottie and Joe think about here is how can they attach a very specific transformation to a feature of their product? Or rather, even when introducing their product. So if people talk about a cold plunge where people get to do cold water immersion, that's cool, but what is the transformation? A decrease in inflammation by X%, whatever that could be, as long as they're pulling from some sound research, allowing people to train more frequently with less recovery time. That's the transformation. You know what I'm saying? Like the CBD balm oil, what does that result in? What is the transformation of the features of the product? I would include a one-line transformation with every product right there, personally.
We've had some really exciting traction today, generating over £1.3 million worth of sales in the last 24 months. We're not stopping there, continuing to innovate. We're currently building the physio in your pocket.
I've got to pause there, man. I've got to pause there. Did you see what Lottie was doing there? Okay, now some of you may think, what should I do with my hands when delivering a pitch? You know what I'm saying? What should I do with my hands? And you can end up using a lot of mental energy thinking about this, and it can result in decision fatigue. What Lottie's doing there, Lottie even, is using the steeple. Think about a church steeple. You see that? And now pivoting that to there. And that is what we call the steeple. Too high? Imagine me talking to you like this. Hello, people. What is happening? I feel like a villain from a movie. Now, this can be deemed as arrogant, and in the wrong context, it can definitely make you look cocky. Over here, a lower steeple can be a really beautiful halfway house for you to deliver your message, use your hands, but come back to this position over here. You don't have to worry about what you're doing with your hands. I'm doing it right now, and it can feel super authentic when used with intention.
Software that will connect to your workout tracker to give you guided recovery based on the exercise that you've just done. Excitingly, we've just been backed by Google. So what's not to love? Dragons, thank you so much for listening. We can't wait for you to come and try our products.
Ooh. Boom, Google, hey. You know, I think this is brilliant because when she says Google, she doesn't really tell you why they've invested, how much, or how they've been back. She leaves it quite open-ended, which I think is brilliant because it sparks curiosity. You feel me? Because Gary Neville's face was like, oh, okay, cool. I want to know more about that. She's now anticipated a question, and I can almost guarantee she had an answer for it. If there's one thing I think this team did incredibly well, it was using the art of storytelling to convey their message with impact. And the second thing, they worked well as a team. Often when you see two people pitching and presenting, you can see one person trying to steal the limelight. They played to one another's strengths, which I think rather was brilliant. What I would have them think about, amateurs will wing it. Pros will make you feel as though they're winging it. This was just a touch below that pro level where I felt as though they were very well rehearsed, but they just knew what they were going to say. Versus finding moments to find their words. And the cold water immersion helps with inflammation. Or I could say, and the cold water immersion, actually, it helps with inflammation. It's just that opportunity, that little look down or look up, and that pause allows somebody to feel like they don't know what they're going to say next, but you do. You feel me? You're finding your words. You're finding your words. So anyway, that's it. I don't want this video to be any longer than it needs to be. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love this bad boy over here. Now, this one over here is a dissection of Steve Jobs dealing with a passive-aggressive human being and question during a Q&A way back in the day. He handles it brilliantly. If you like this, you're going to love that. And let me leave you with this, okay, people? It's not just about what you say, it's how you say it. Peace.